radar is Welspun Corp, a strong performance that the company has reported. The revenues nearly tripled year on year and the net profits also saw a big jump. In fact, the company reported a profit of 168 crores versus a loss of about 1 crore itself. We have with us the management of the company joining in now. Thanks a lot, sir, for joining in. Just wanted to understand, your sales volume for this year and how do you split it between pipe business in India and the US?
So, very good afternoon and thanks for having me on the show. At this point in time, we have almost an order book of close to 650,000 tons between India and US. And the split is almost even. It is like 50-50 split here. And both these order books will be executed in this financial year itself.
So in the DI pipes business, your order backlog is quite strong. It's valued at almost 1,200 crores. Can you tell us what is the demand momentum that you're looking at and what kind of growth can you see in that vertical?
Oh, DI is an amazing story. As you know, we started in the second half of the last year. And in the last year, we did close to something like 23,000 tons of DI pipes production and sales. But in the very first quarter of this year, we have done more than 27,000 tons. So which is only a clear reflection that, our production ramp-ups are happening very steadily and our product getting placed and accepted into the market very nicely. As regards demand projection, we already have a backlog of almost close to 150,000 tons, which will take us to at least 2 more quarters, if not around 3 more quarters. From a demand side of view, if you look at it, for FY24, we are seeing a demand of almost close to 2.5 million tons, which will be there. And out of that, almost 1.5 million tons of demand will be in the region where we would have an influence. We have no influence on south and we have no influence on the east. But the areas where we would have our influence is the demand, almost more than 70% of the demand will be coming in that particular region. So we are seeing a tremendous growth potential in the DI side of it. And our focus at this point in time is to completely ramp up our production capacity as fast and as quickly as possible.
Okay. How big a market do you think Saudi is probably going to be for you all? Because you all seem to be quite bullish on the outlook there. How much are you getting in terms of revenues from Saudi? What is your order book that you're executing from Saudi Arabia in particular? And how much do you expect it to increase by?
See, Saudi traditionally has been a very matured market and it has always had a very mainstay in Welspun earnings. It is, let's say, right now if we speak, as you must have noticed, last quarter we announced, or a few months back we announced that we got the largest order from Saudi Aramco, which is close to 1.8 billion real order what we got from there. Literally with that order and the pending order book, we are almost close to book for almost close to 1.5 to 2 years at this point in time. So on top of it, on top of it, we are seeing a lot of demand, which is now again coming up in the water sector. A lot of demand coming up in the oil and gas sector, which will bring incremental bookings in times to come. So I think from a visibility point of view, Saudi is a very stable, very mature market for the next 5 to 7 years time. And we being one of the largest players in that will have a significant role to play in that.
But are you seeing a significant amount of, incremental business coming from the Saudi market in the last 1 to 2 years? I'm asking because there is a lot of, infrastructure development that's taking place there. There are luxury hubs being built as well in Riyadh. So any thoughts on whether, is it a disproportionate amount of business that's coming in from there?
Not disproportionate. I think so. It's a very calibrated amount of business which seems to be coming up here. See, we have a play either in the oil and gas sector or in the water sector. And historically, if you see that year on year, they buy close to 1 million tons of pipe for the water and almost close to 1 million tons of pipes for the oil and gas sector, close to that. Now, so depending on which market is strong at that point in time, last 2 years, the water market was very, very strong and our full capacity was allocated to that. This year, the coming quarters is all about Saudi Aramco, which is the oil and gas sector. So, so the demand seems to be coming. Demand is fairly stable, very consistent, and it's very visible for next 3 to 5 years time.
All right, final question then before we let you go. You've given us your margin guidance for this year at around 10%. What we want to understand is the acquisitions that you've made of Syntex BAPL and some assets of ABG Shipyard as well. Where do they stand at with regards to the revenue run rate right now? And how high can you scale them up? And at the same time, any sort of synergy benefits? When do they normalize to your own operational performance?
So ABG is, ABG specific assets acquisition is completed. We are in the process of liquidation, and we will make out our money what we have invested out there. And in any case, we have also said that at this point in time we are evaluating various options, but we have no intention of making any capex whatsoever in the ABG side of it, because that's a work in progress, and we really have to figure out what is to be done with that. And at this point in time, our only focus is to monetize the asset and make a complete revenue recognition around it for the money what we have invested, and which we should be able to do that within this financial year.
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, you're saying something.
Go ahead.
So that was one. As regards Syntex, Syntex is a national brand, iconic brand. All of us know about it. It has a great brand recall. We are just into the driving seat for the very first quarter. And if you see that, it's a profitable proposition in the very first quarter itself. But a lot of work still need to be done there. I think so. We will still have to re-energize the market, the dealers and the distribution network. And our aim is to, first and foremost, to regain to the old glory it was there. It used to have a market share of 20-25%. Right now, we are around 9 to 10%. So our first immediate focus is to re-energize the market, supply chain, distribution channels, dealers, influencers, and come back to a reasonable level of recapture the market share. So that's what our intentions are. And I think so as we move on the next quarter-on-quarter basis, you will see a significant improvement which will be happening at the Syntex brand.
All right, Mr. Mathur, we're going to leave it on that note. Thanks very much for joining in and speaking with us. So that's Welspun Corp coming out with quite a bullish outlook going into the rest of the fiscal. But we need to take a short